that's my mom.
Hi. You cut yourself off though.
Yeah.
I found it. You give me the wrong address earlier.
She probably looked at an old address, and then you sent the new address.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You ready, Ken?
This thing is not ready, but we'll just record there. You just
Okay.
zoom in and out.
All right.
I would recommend if you guys are.
All right. So are you not live editing?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is day 3 of the Black Cat Comics Rockin' Milpitas pre-Comic-Con Comic-Con. You are attending the panel day here at the show. This is the do's and don'ts of the San Diego Comic-Con. To my right is my wife and partner, co-owner of Black Cat Comics, Francie. And here to my left is Arnell. Arnell, why don't you introduce yourself, tell them why you're here.
Hey, I'm Arnie. I live over here in the Bay Area. And let's see, I have my own channel. It's called Nerd Busters on YouTube. On Instagram, it's little_nerd_busters. And I paired up with Black Cat because they're my comic book shop of choice. I've been with them for years. I don't even live in this area anymore, so I just come here because I like them.
We appreciate having you. Every year, the week before Comic-Con, we set up a few events here at the shop to have some fun for you folks that can't make it out to the big show, and our little gig gets bigger and bigger every year, it seems. So again, this day we wanted to put together some panels just for a long time.
2 years.
I
2
didn't
years?
want to age either one of us.
22
This is our
years.
22nd consecutive Comic-Con. I don't know how long you've been going.
I've been going for 6 years, so I'm kind
you're
of
a baby.
I'm a baby, but
That's long enough.
well, it's at least half a decade. right?
There you go.
Half a
Well,
decade.
and you're in the current world of Comic-Con. It's a whole lot different now than it was when we started going,
Totally.
Sounds good.
as we'll get into a little bit. So the purpose of this, as we said, is the do's and don'ts of San Diego Comic-Con. It is geared mostly towards folks who are going. It is under the presumption that you have achieved the impossible and gotten a ticket to San Diego Comic-Con. Super fast, for those of you who don't know, because I get asked all the time, and I don't even get asked, I have people just say casually, I think I'll go to Comic-Con this year. And I'm thinking to myself,
That's
no,
nice.
you're
You're
not.
so
You're
right.
not going to Comic-Con this year. So I will say to folks, if you don't know how to get a ticket, if you don't know anything about San Diego Comic-Con, if you love comics, everybody needs to go at least once. You need to go and be a part of it. Need to see what it's all about. And so get on to the San Diego Comic-Con. It's SDCC.org, or however you Google San Diego Comic-Con.
Google, correct it.
And get on the site, find out when the release dates are, find out how you have to sign up, how you have to get your registration code, all the hoops that you have to jump through, because it's tricky and it's tough. Once you've done all those things and you're the kid in Willy Wonka with his golden ticket, then you can impart upon yourself all these little pearls of wisdom that we're going to give you today, because we've been going there a long time, and it's a very unique experience. And honestly, even a veteran like me has a lot he needs to remember and keep straight, because it's a big deal. So where shall we start?
I guess why don't we start with a couple do's? What do you do at Comic-Con?
Ladies first.
visual
where
aid.
do we start?
She's told me about this.
First thing you need to do is create your Comic-Con survival pack. I'm going to tell you what I put in my bag. First of all, I've got a very lightweight bag. It will never ever tear or break, and it's the perfect size and width for comics. So I can stick about 100 comics in here if I want. Next, what you do is you pack an extra bag because you're going to fill one. And then in here you've got layers, because yes, it's hot in San Diego, but those panel rooms, very chilly.
Yes.
AC's cranked up, especially if it's empty. Ooh, shivers. The next thing you want to do is bring a water bottle.
Huge. That's number 1 on my list right there.
Now, what's cool about San Diego is they have water fountains and dispensers in every panel room. So you don't have to worry about buying water. Just bring one from home, an empty one, and take it with you to the convention. Next thing, very important, snacks,
Huge.
because you're not going to leave. Once you get into a panel room, especially one that's really big, like ballroom 20 or God forbid hall H, if you're lucky enough to get in there, you're never gonna leave. That means your lunch, your breakfast, your snacks, and possibly your dinner are all gonna be spent in this little chair. So make sure you got enough snacks to last you all day long. And then, because those con chairs, not so great on spine, bring a little pillow.
Bad Maru.
That's what I do. And what's cool about this pillow, wait for it, it's got a blanket.
Oh,
So if I get a little too chilly, I've got a little blanket inside my pillow.
smart.
She's not over planning. Those rooms can get freezing because it's super hot in San Diego, and so they super cool it down. And then, you know, us Comic-Con people are of larger stature than most, and so they keep the air conditioning super cranked. So you really could freeze to death Everest style if you want.
And the other thing you need to do is have an extra phone charger battery. The reason why is because you want to download the schedule app on your phone and select, I don't know if you can see that, select which panels you want to go to and check it very often. And your phone's gonna run out of juice in there. Let me tell you, those, I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is. I don't think there is one, but I know my phone battery gets drained faster in the convention than any other place. So bring an extra 1 or 2 charged batteries and use the mobile app for your schedule planning. And then last but not least, I like to bring headphones because you're gonna be waiting in line a lot. So again, you got an extra battery, maybe some Netflix you want to download ahead of time. You're in the hotel room on their Wi-Fi, so you can watch something that you've been planning on watching while you've been waiting in line for hours to get into a
You
panel.
will be waiting in line.
And those are my essentials that I pack in my survival bag.
Those are all very savvy. I'm gonna piggyback on that just a little bit. And all those things are great. As I said, water bottle is number 1 for me. Snacks. I break down my Comic-Con experience into 2 parts. There's me and there's my mission. And I encourage folks to do that. You need to think about your own personal, as you said, survival. And you also need to keep in mind why you're there. And some of the things you mentioned are so important. Water, snacks, layers, all those things. You need to be self-contained at all times. You will find yourself whatever it is you need in that moment. There are 50,000 people between you and that thing. So rather than battling 50,000 people and perhaps dying of thirst before you get there, have a bottle of water, have some dried cranberries, have something that will keep you alive and keep you warm because the crowds are really like that. And like she said, you get trapped in places. Again, in the your mission part, be prepared. One of the key things we're going to talk about through this whole show is be prepared. Know why you're there. Know what you're doing. Meaning, once you have yourself self-contained, then you need to remember your mission. I'm there for old comics, and so I bring a carrying case, and I bring fresh bags and boards. I might be there for autographs, and so I'm going to bring a pen and a paper. She said the battery charger. You're going to be taking a lot of pictures of people walking by, people in their booth, whatever it is, and so you're going to be using more of your power than you think you are. Plan ahead. Like she said, have the app. Know what you're doing. Know what your schedule is. Again, I'm there for comics, and so I need to have my little price guide, and I need to have a guide in my head. The more information you can take with you, the better off you're going to be. And again, I think bags and boards is a really big one.
Bags and boards. Bags.
As far as your immediate thing,
Yeah.
I
If
have
you're buying
snacks,
comics.
bottled water, and a carrying case with bags and boards. Because like a lot of things, you're going to be picking up something more precious than gold. And so you can't be bumping into people and have it bouncing all around and risk dropping it and whatever all. So as far as the core things, that's what I start with.
Nice. Well, for me, I'd probably say you should take a shower and wear deodorant. You know.
Yes.
Oh, you know, like one thing else, like people are smelly. Like they get smelly in those kind of. It's hot.
It's hot in
You know,
San
and you get
Diego.
sweaty. So, deodorant is your friend. It is your friend.
Pack
Yeah.
it with you. Put it in your survival
Yeah,
bag.
you got to
The-
put it in your survival bag.
A
Put that
friend
with
of
you.
others around you.
Mhm.
That's
Apply it often.
Yeah, yeah. Like the morning when you put it before you go on the bus. Put it after you get on the bus. After you get off the bus. When you go to the bathroom, put it on. It's really smelly. But
For the
um,
God's sake.
and
please
take a
wear
shower
deodorant.
take a shower every day. Like there are people who they don't seem like they. Well, also it's probably the Hall H people too. You know, like they're
They're
all
camping
night.
out. You gotta have
Yeah.
some allowance, but it is true. You know, we were all in a hotel room. Everybody's hotel room had a
Mhm.
shower. Come
Mhm.
on, folks.
Another thing also is they make deodorant like they're called deodor balls, right? You put them in your shoes. Yeah, so like
Crazy.
after like a whole day, like you're on the floor walking around, right? What you gotta
Nice.
do is you put them in your shoes overnight so that they smell fresh and clean throughout the day. Because it's like if you're sharing a hotel room with like 5 other people, you know, and then you take your shoes off, it's kind of embarrassing.
Nice.
Also, what works too if you don't want to buy those deodor balls, bounce sheets like laundry sheets.
Mhm.
Yeah, those work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just put those in the shoes.
Put them in your shoes and like your dirty laundry bag or whatever, because those help a lot.
There you go.
You know. What's another essential thing?
Well, it sort of expands out from there. Personal recommendations. To go a little along what you're saying, I'll go on a bit of reverse with my list. Be polite and be patient.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. I am a notorious punk rock kid, an old school rule breaker. But in this instance, you know, there's 500,000 people. Follow the signs, go the direction you need to go, do what the guy in the orange shirt is telling you to do. Just it's not cool, it's not funny to be the one guy who's getting yelled at by 50,000 people.
Can I interject?
Mhm.
The rules don't make any sense. They want you to walk one way and not the other way. They've got lines set up that don't make any sense. Just know that it's going to be illogical.
As I say, be
Mhm.
patient, be polite. It's a good group of folks. It's a very very large group of folks, and it sort of is based on us all being good to each other and like I say, following the rules, going with the crowd, all that kind of thing. It just makes everything smoother and better.
Yeah. Plus, if you're walking, don't stop. Don't stop.
Oh,
Like you know those
yes.
people like they're on their phone or like they're looking at something and they just kind of stop. Like looking back of you
Common
before you
courtesy.
stop.
Yeah, you're
You know,
getting
or
into
go
the
go to
don't
the
section.
wall or like just kind of get out of the way because like there's so many people on those expo floors. Yeah.
You're right. You're slipping into don't territory.
into don't.
Oh,
I'll go
okay,
with,
okay.
I'll go with one more
Some
do.
do's.
One more do that I have is take breaks. It's very easy to get excited. It's very easy to get caught up in the whole go 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 thing. And I know you're all infinitely younger than I am and have much more energy. But you by the fourth day, the fifth day, you will be glad that you paced yourself. You'll be glad take a little part out of the day. Make sure you get a little lunch. Get some fresh air once in a while. Take a break from whatever it is you're doing to, let's say, just pace yourself because it's a long weekend.
Mhm.
It's essentially 24 hours a day for 5 days. So where you can, wherever there's a hole in your schedule, get off the con floor, get out of the show, find some place to put your feet up, like I say, have an actual meal, get some fresh air. You'll be glad by Sunday. You'll be glad you did. On Saturday, Thursday, Friday, it's go 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 go. But by Sunday, you'll be glad that you still have a little gas in the tank.
Yeah. Another thing also that you should do, like, especially if it's your first year going, don't stay every single day in like the panels. If you go outside, because there's so much free stuff outside that you can go to. Like you don't even necessarily need to have a badge. The city of San Diego puts so much free stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like the one thing that I've always thought was really fun that I've been having for a lot over the last few years is the Adult Swim on the green.
Oh,
Have you been
that's
to
fun.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's by
So
Petco
the
Park.
last year it's been a carnival theme, but I think they're changing it this year. I think it's gonna be like a camp.
Nice.
Yeah, but like it's like a carnival last year where like there's like fun games, like the carnival games basically, and you can win prizes or try to win prizes. You know, I can't win prizes.
There is all kinds of stuff that goes on in San Diego outside the show. So I do encourage everybody. I always say if you don't have a ticket, get down there anyway and have a good time hanging out with all the comic book people that are all over town.
Yeah, especially like if you only have the Sunday ticket. Like if you're planning
Sure.
to go and you only have the Sunday ticket, you gotta do something, right? Go check out the stuff outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a couple of more do's, and it's all about waiting in line and getting into the panel that you want. So first things first, you're not going to get into everything that you want. It's not possible. So pick one thing that's the absolute must and prioritize everything around that one. I'll give you an example. For this Comic-Con next week, we're going to the Good Omens Neil Gaiman panel. and that's in one of the biggest rooms, which is ballroom 20, second only to Hall H. That panel starts at 3:30. I plan on getting into the line at 9:30 in the morning, and I don't plan to leave until my panel is over. And so, you gotta have my survival bag. The other thing is, when you leave to go to the restroom, because you can't, there are in and outs, but you only get let back in if you have a hall pass or a bathroom pass. So do not leave your panel if you plan to come back in without having a little slip of paper. And on that slip of paper, it'll tell you the panel that you're in and the time you need to return, or that voucher is invalid. So you can't just have your seat be vacant and put your bag there and go shop for a couple hours. It's not how it works. You've got to be in your seat, and you can really only leave for short breaks to the bathroom, maybe step outside. So make sure you get your hall pass before you come back into your panel.
Can we do a quick aside for that? Like, I have one, but what's the longest you ever, or I guess, what was the worst experience you ever had for waiting for a panel? Like, what's the one thing that haunts you?
So I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, huge. And this is when Mad Hatter was coming out.
Oh.
And so he was doing a panel in Hall H. And up until that point, so I don't know many years ago that was. Up until that point, if you waited 2 to 3 hours, you could get into Hall H. This was the year that changed it all. We got in line, I think the panel was like at 1 or 2, and we got in line at like 7 or 8 in the morning. And we didn't move. There was no direction. No one told us when we were going to get let in. Apparently Twilight was right after. So it was impossible. So I basically wasted the whole day and did not get into the panel that I wanted. And that was probably the last year I said, I'm never doing Hall H again.
Yeah.
Oh, that
It kind of
sounds
ruined
awful.
ruined the rest of the trip.
Was that on a Saturday or
I don't
Friday?
remember.
Because it's one thing to wait forever when you know
That you're gonna get in.
that you're going to get the gold
There's
at the
a
end of the
payoff.
rainbow.
Yeah.
Because that's Comic-Con and we're all part of that process. But to wait, and as she said, in generally speaking, they're a little more organized and they know where the end of the line should be. And hey, if you're past here, you're not getting into this panel, and they'll tell you so. But every once in a while, this system just horribly breaks down,
Yeah, 'cause
and you
it's like-
spend hours of your time, and then
Exactly.
you don't make it.
You know, I always think about going to Hall H, but I always think, is it really worth it? Because you have to sleep there, and then you're there all day, and you're kind of just like spending the entire time in line. Like,
That's
you
it.
know, you can just like kind of look at this stuff online,
More
like
and
on the
more
web
that's
or
true.
the internet.
More and
It's
more
like,
that's very
what's
true.
Wasn't
kind of
always
the
the
point?
case.
That being said, I do always like to point out each extreme example. I avoid Hall H again, I'm there to buy old books, and I like to see panels, and I like to do all these things, but I'm not, unless Jack Kirby comes back from the dead, I don't need to camp out for anything. But then comes the day Hiddleston is there in his Loki suit, and he's addressing the audience as Loki, and that's one of those moments that if you're in that room,
Worth it.
it's a once in a
Worth it.
lifetime thing that nobody else is gonna be able to say that they participated in. Harrison Ford has been to 1 Comic-Con. I've been to 22. Harrison Ford has been to 1. And when he walked out on that stage in Hall H, that room went insane.
Wow, what was
I
that
wasn't
for?
there.
Oh.
It was some Star Wars reunion thing.
Yeah.
And he has always avoided Comic-Con like the plague. But he went that
I mean, I
year,
would
and
too.
if you
That
were
was
one of
him.
those people in that room, then sleeping out in the dirt for a week was totally worth the 20 minutes of Harrison Ford.
And I don't know the details because I've sworn off Hall H, but now you can get a wristband so you don't spend the night.
Yeah.
So you like get in line, get
You
a
line up
wristband,
for the wristband.
and then you go to your hotel and go to sleep, and you come back and get in a different line with your wristband. So all those
It's
details.
the pre-order.
Kinda, yeah.
Right.
So all those details are on the comic-con.org website.
And again, plan ahead. Take a look at all of these things. Read everything you can. Know everything you can. I'll give another example of this. When, as you say, prioritize and have a plan B, a plan C. One year, they did a Jack Kirby panel, and we went to, because of course, I'm old school. You could do a Jack Kirby panel. I show up. Well, we get there. It's this tiny little. Okay, I waited no time at all. We walked right up at the beginning of the panel, walked right into one of the smallest rooms in the show, and I don't even remember who else was on the dais except Neil Gaiman,
He wasn't listed. He was a surprise.
Right, they all were, and there was like one of his publishers, somebody was there, but there were the panel was just amazing. Mark Evanier and Neil Gaiman and all these guys, and we didn't get into the big cool thing, but well, okay, let's go do this other thing, and you get in there, and it was super awesome. It was one of the coolest panels I've seen in 22 years of Comic-Con.
Nice.
So again, be a little prepared that you might not get into your thing, and have a couple things in your back pocket, and try it out. But you don't know about those little things if you don't check the schedule, if you don't have the app, if you don't plan ahead a little bit.
So once we do this, let's do like one more do, and then we can go into don'ts.
Okay, sounds good.
But do I have?
No, go
I
for
always
it.
like to defer, ladies first. I'm sexist and chivalrous that way. It sounds hokey. Make friends. While we're talking about it, you sit in these lines, even if you're lucky and you're going to get into the thing, you're still going to be in that line for an hour, 2 hours. You're going to be walking that floor like this with people. If you have the opportunity, strike up conversations with folks, meet people. We're all there with similar interests. We're all there doing the same thing and having fun. Some of the coolest people that I know I've run into at shows and stuff. It's really, really fun. And so again, you're trapped with these people anyway. You might as well make some friends while you're down there and have a good time. It helps you have a good time. It helps them have a good time. If you can go home with a new friend, or if you can know somebody when you come back next year and you run into them at the show next year, it's lots of fun. So be open to that kind of thing. Again, we get very focused and we get very, got to get to my panel, got to be in the back issue bin. But again, if you open up just a little bit, you can meet some really, really great people. And to that point, you never know who's standing behind you. I have 1,000 stories of just stopping to ask somebody, hey, do you know what time it is? Hey, you're Garib Sheamus, the guy who runs Wizard Magazine. Maybe people don't even know Wizard Magazine anymore. But like I say, you never know who you're going to run into, bump into, and that's always really fun too.
Covered a lot of the stuff that you should do. I'd say be comfortable for the event. That's like my priority. Like, wear shorts, wear a good comfy shirt, and wear shoes that are comfortable. Break them in. Like, please break them in. If you buy new shoes and they're not broken in, you're gonna have a miserable time.
Yeah.
One thing to piggyback off of that too. I had one. What was it? Oh, don't. Oh, wait, no. You have to save that for later. We have to save that for later. It's a don't. Yeah. So dress comfortably. It's
I'll
something
squeak one in. Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Much like layers with the air conditioning, you're inside the con all day, and you're the dark rooms, in the this and that and the other, and then you walk outside the convention and you go blind. So don't forget your sunglasses. You don't think about it because you think you'll be in the show all day, but you won't be in the show all day, and it's San Diego, and you'll go
that
blind.
sun doesn't go down.
It doesn't.
One more thing I've got is to just be flexible. It kind of goes with being patient. Things are going to happen. Things are going to change. You've got your whole day planned, but you might not feel well, or your party might not feel well, or you might not be able to get into a panel, or it's just too crowded. So be flexible. Don't be too rigid about your schedule, and have fun. It can be very challenging at times, so you need to find fun where you need it. And if it's like, I can't take anymore, I need a drink, you go do that. Listen to what your body's telling you, and make sure this is supposed to be about fun.
Excelente. Now it's all the warning signs.
All the warning signs. Don't do this. Don't do what Donnie don't do.
Don't do what Donnie don't does. You want to start with the don'ts?
Oh, I'm looking over there. Is someone saying something?
Are we getting a question?
No, someone joined. Hi, Lance.
Hello.
Now that man's a con
He
pro.
knows all
Wait, is this the
about
person you were
fun.
talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, did you get in into the all the exclusives and stuff?
Talking about the
He got a
exclusives.
Marvel one. He got some Marvel.
I got
exclusive
nothing.
There you go.
I got none.
I told him I didn't
I got
know,
a
but I bet Lance would have
Easter egg.
gotten something. He's lucky that way.
Nothing.
I'll start with 3 big don'ts, and then we can branch
it.
out from
Yeah.
there. Don't waste time, don't waste your money, and don't be dumb. That's 3 things that are all easy to do, and you really shouldn't do when you're at Comic-Con. It's really easy to waste time, and don't, because it seems like 5 days is forever, but it isn't. It's Sunday night before you know it. Don't waste your money. Know what things are supposed to be before you drop a lot of money on it. Shop around. There's all kinds of booths. Somebody else has that thing. If you think that's a little too much money, it might be. And sometimes, frankly, it isn't. If you think it's too much money, the guy behind the counter is laughing at you because it's actually a really cheap comic. But like I say, don't waste your money. There's good deals to be had.
And is this for comics or toys or
Whatever it
exclusives?
is. Well, even with the exclusives, you know, you can get into a trap of, oh, this is super cool and I can't ever get it again and I need to pay $200 for this. Take a minute to look into your soul and ask your soul if you really need to spend $200 on this.
And 2 hours in line.
And the 2 hours. And yes, sometimes your soul says, of
Yes.
course, you idiot, get in line.
Mhm.
I know mine does. But sometimes your soul is honest with you and it will say, dude, you have enough Yoda action figures. Let that one go.
God's sakes.
And that's important to do. Like I say, whatever it is, the lines challenge your time, and again, you have to prioritize. Should I really spend 4 hours waiting for this, or should I go do this in that time? Because again, you're only there for a limited amount of time. It seems like there's a million things to do, but that's finite as well. You want to maximize everything that you do. You don't want to get home and realize that you wasted your Saturday or that you wasted $50 on that thing when you could have spent $50 on that thing, whatever it is. Don't get too excited like I do every year, and be a little smart with what you're bringing. Those are my 3 big ones, and then like I say, it kind of ripples out from there.
Yeah. I've never waited in line for an exclusive. So I have, when they introduced that new lottery system, you know, I was thinking, well, that doesn't really seem fair because then it's another lottery, right? And then I've never done it before. So then when I saw the only ones that I really wanted, which was the Aquaman Lego thing. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so Lego, they always make their own thing.
Yeah.
So they have an Aquaman one, and it has a
Nice.
seahorse. So
Oh,
I
that's
want it
cool.
because it has the seahorse, right?
Seahorses are cool.
And the other one was it was the Kermit the Frog, the meme where it's wearing like the hood.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, but that turns out that's one of the exclusive ones, which is kind of a bummer. But I don't know if I'm wondering if they sell the stuff, if they'll try and sell them on Sunday or something. I don't know.
Oh, they will sell it, I know.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like
They
on
will
Sunday,
sell it.
if they still
Yeah.
have it, why wouldn't
No,
they?
they
Right?
will sell
They
it.
won't have it on Sunday.
UCC, please sell me the Kermit, please.
You don't have to worry about that. I've got a couple don'ts. So I already mentioned this one. Just don't do Hall H. If you're
Mhm.
not in line now, you won't get in. It's too late. Don't be that guy or that gal. And what do I mean by that? Folks that are just lack total self-awareness, right? They don't know that they're around a sea of people trying to move like salmon downstream, and then they stop, like you said,
Mhm.
and everyone just kind of stops behind them.
With their huge backpack.
Oh,
That's the other
and
thing.
the strollers.
Oh my goodness! Don't take a stroller to San Diego Comic Con. What is
Man.
wrong with you? Okay,
Phew,
so the
they-
backpack. Okay, the backpack. The folks that stand in front of the line or stand in front of the crowd are always the same people that have the gigantor bags that bump and kind of violate people as they're going down the aisle with. So don't be that person with the violator bag. Don't stop in the middle of a crowd. And just pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings and how you might be affecting other people's experience.
Mhm.
If you are standing in the same place for more than 30 seconds, look around you.
I would even say 10.
Well, that's
See if you can feel how many daggers are at your back.
because we're all going to do it, and that's part of why I'm mentioning it. But you're walking along and you see the thing in that booth and you stop and there's that thing. When I was 5, I loved that thing, and you're staring at the thing, but you're right in the middle of the aisle. You're not at the booth. You're in the middle of the aisle shouting over, and people are all going around you, and people are cursing your progeny, and then so like I say, if you find yourself standing for anywhere for long enough for it to occur to you that you've been standing there, you should probably get out of somebody's way. Con is a constantly moving animal.
And on that, don't, like if you run into your friends, don't stand right in the middle of the aisles like, oh, and catch up.
Mhm.
Go
Or the
to
doorways,
the side, go
yeah.
to a corner, go
Or
to
just
the,
leave the
near the
expo
bathroom
floor.
and talk.
Mhm.
Do not have a group of like 20 people blocking up the aisle.
Mhm.
Super true. The aisles are really important. And again, like being polite, like being all these things, it's just a matter of a little bit for everybody. You will be that person. You will be each of those people. You will be walking along and you'll be like, why won't they move? And then the next day somebody will be looking at you going, why won't he move? So just be a little mindful of it.
What do you got?
Let's see. Well, off my list, I don't have my list up, but I know that one of them is you shouldn't. It's a double-edged sword. You should, but you shouldn't dress up in cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's cool and fun to dress up in cosplay because it's part of the fun and enjoyment of it all. But the problem with it is that if your cosplay is too good, everyone will stop you for a picture. So if you are going to do cosplay, know that like everyone's going to stop you.
Be prepared that
Mhm.
getting anywhere is going to take 10 times longer
Yep.
than you think.
Yep.
That's true.
Mhm.
And don't do that to your kid. Can I just throw that out there? Don't do it to your kid. Don't put your kid in a costume that matches your costume. Just don't. Even if you think they're into it, they're not. And there's going to come a time on Saturday where they just want to
break
go
down,
home and they're
uh-huh.
so sick of this. I
Yep.
see it every year. I feel bad for that kid. That kid is going to grow up to be an accountant because they will hate everything Comic-Con. Just don't. Just if they want to dress up, and that's fine. But if you want to dress up, that's where you don't force that on other people.
An
That's
accountant, huh?
that's just mean. I say I see it every year. You can point at that kid and like that kid's never coming back to Comic-Con. That kid will never. He's gonna hate Star
So
Trek for the rest
if like
of his life.
one end of the spectrum is SDCC and comics and all things love and joy, the absolute extreme of that is an accountant.
I don't know. I'm
I'm
not a
just
math
kidding.
guy, so I picked a job that I thought was very opposite of mine. And so you know, like I say, kids can have fun doing whatever, but don't force them to match your costume. It's cruel, an unusual punishment. I have, I guess, all sorts of don'ts.
I know the fun one is the don't actually.
Well, it's on the subject of fun. One don't that I have is don't party too hard.
Yes.
And I
So
say
bad.
that again. I've been at this a long time. I've been doing this since I was a young person. Believe it or not, the Gas Lamp District is down there. San Diego is a fantastic party town. Pick another weekend to do that in San Diego. I'll tell you why. First and foremost, you don't want to ruin your next day. You're there to go to Comic-Con. Like I say, stick to the mission, soldier. And if you get out in the gas lamp, you wake up at 4 o'clock the next afternoon. Oh no, I missed my whole Saturday. It can happen. You don't want that to happen to you. And on another scale, and I know this is extreme, but there are a lot of police officers in San Diego during this weekend. Like you said, don't be that guy, don't be that gal, don't make your friends bail you out the weekend of Comic-Con. I know that sounds extreme, but it can happen. They're looking for those folks. And again, it's mostly just about having fun. And so go and enjoy the town and have all that fun, but keep it in a parameter because again, you're there to be at Comic-Con, and you can pick some other weekend to party in San Diego.
Being at Kong hungover, not
Mm-mm.
good.
Mm-mm.
When did
Not
that happen?
recommend. Nope, not going there.
We're not here to tell those stories.
We've got a couple of comments and questions from Nick. And Nick, yes, you're right. So this year they're doing some stuff differently than previous Comic-Con. So you can't even walk in front of the convention
Yeah.
center 2 or 3 blocks away without a badge. So that's good to know. So if you do go down just to kind of be a part of the scene, you're not going to be able to get that close to the convention center.
Although now I'm wondering, like, what about the free stuff then? You know, the stuff that Fox puts out,
Mhm.
those
It's
experiences.
across the
Probably going to
street.
be at,
Oh, it's across the
Yeah.
street.
on the
They'll
other
get
side
bumped.
of the train
Okay.
tracks, probably.
Yeah, because that is really nice because you know how like that very final stretch on the shuttle, it takes forever
Yeah.
to
It
get like
does.
the last 3 blocks. But
Yeah.
if you get rid of that traffic,
Yeah.
Also, I'm just wondering if you're in San Diego, why would you even drive there? I'm perplexed.
don't
Like, why
know.
would you?
Well, and there are
drive
cabs. I've paid $178,000 sitting in a taxi at that intersection in Hilton trying to get out of the front of the section. So yeah, you don't want to deal with any of that.
Mhm.
To that point, Nick, I always like to mention San Diego improves the game every year. It doesn't seem like it. We talk about a lot of the things, a lot of the hassles, a lot of the hiccups that go on, and they do. That's what happens when you manage 350 to 500,000 people. But I always said that they clearly sit down after the show with their brain trust, and they talk about what worked and what didn't work and what they need to do next year to work on things. So they have been working on the organization of Hall H. They have been managing the huge crowds that form everywhere out in front of the convention center. And that, again, is just meant to help everybody have a better experience.
Yeah.
And so, like I say, kudos to the people who do this. None of us can imagine, there is no sporting event. There is no, other than like maybe when the Olympics come, I really can't imagine something coming to your city that's bigger than Comic-Con. So as frustrating as some of the things that we talk about are, you do have to accept that they're managing one of the biggest events that I can even imagine.
Yeah. Personally, I think that they do a really good job handling 120,000 people who come in, you know? And I've been to other cons in like the inaugural years, and it's just awful. It's terrible. Like
D23.
Oh,
Excuse me.
it's just, yeah, you know, like they're pros at it. You know, I feel like there's a lot going on, and like sometimes it's like illogical about how they do things, but overall they do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You know? Especially with that app, and the app actually works. You know, you favorite it.
Mhm.
You know, you can keep track of stuff pretty good.
I wanted to answer Holly's question really quick. Holly, we are not setting up at San Diego Comic-Con. I wouldn't do that. We never have, and at this point, I don't know that we could. There's a huge waiting list for tables and whatnot. I'm not sure if we are your local comic shop. Then thank you. We really appreciate that. But there are other Black Hat Comics in other states that do set up in San Diego. I have been buying back issues at San Diego Comic-Con and pulled out a book and, hey, Black Hat Comics, we're Black Hat Comics, and there's some shop in Texas, and he didn't think it was as cool as I did. But like I say, we're unfortunately not that shop, but look for this shirt. You may run into us when we're down there.
I've got another don't. So don't over-plan stuff outside of the convention. So for many, many years, we had family living down in San Diego who didn't always go to the con. And so they'd always plan dinners and going to the movie and hanging out time, but that was really stressful for us because when you're at con, that's kind of the only time and energy you have is to devote to con. And so trying to like go to the zoo or go to Legoland, it's just, it adds to the stress. Plan those trips separate. Don't try to cram that in unless you don't have tickets for all 4 days, in which case you can. But if you're lucky enough to do the whole 5-day package, spend it at the con.
That's a really good one. So one of my last things isn't necessarily, it can be either a do or a don't. Think about what you have and how you're getting home with it. Don't ruin what you went there for. Meaning, if you're buying a high grade book, if you're buying something with an autograph, if you're buying a poster, if you're getting a con exclusive, for obvious reasons, you want to get it home in the same condition that you bought it. And so think about how you're going to be carrying that thing all weekend. Think
Poster
about
tubes.
Yes, bringing supplies with you. There's a UPS store right there at the convention center. If it's really, really something, think about shipping it home to yourself. Again, don't have something crushed, have something stolen, something like that. Oh, sorry, which reminds me of my biggest don't lose your badge.
Oh my God.
Don't lose your badge. Hey, don't lose your badge.
Don't lose your badge.
Because when you go to the booth and you say, hey, I lost my badge, they're not going to say, oh, Billy, it's okay, we'll make you another one. They're going to walk you out and make sure that you don't come back in because you don't have a badge. And that's going to be the end of your Comic-Con experience. And it happens every single year. And believe me, no one will care. No one will feel bad for you. They will assume you're a scammer and whatever. So don't lose your badge. They give you a lanyard. It has a pin on it as well. Wear the lanyard, pin it to yourself, super glue it to your forehead. Do whatever you have to do to not lose your badge. Because otherwise you're just hanging out at the beach while all your friends are having a good time.
Yeah. One don't I have is, it goes to your point, don't waste your money. So usually wait until like the last day on the Sunday, because if you want to carry all this stuff with you, then it's pretty heavy, you know. But also there's a lot of good deals that come out, especially on like that last 30 minutes. Everyone's like 5 trades for $20, you know, like they're just trying to get stuff out, you know, like even some of the stuff that like some like the bigger, like there's those vendors that have like the mystery box, right? all of a sudden, like the last 30 minutes, it drops to like $15, $10.
They don't want to pack it.
They
and
don't
take
want to
it
pack
home.
it up. So,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
stay there, like spend Sunday on the expo floor because you can get some good deals. But unless it's like an exclusive and you really want it and you were lucky to get into it, then don't necessarily buy it until the very last day. Exclusives, they're not going to drop in value, but the smaller vendors, like that's the place where I love to go to. I kind of wait until like the last day to see what's up.
Sure.
That's a great one. That's all I got.
One
I'm sure
thing
have more.
I
I can't
have
think of it.
that I learned after years of this: do not accept every free thing handed to you. Part of prioritizing and part of being selective. It sounds funny, but when you get there and you get excited, and you know it's all shiny and colorful and cool looking and fun, and so you're like, yeah, sure, because everybody is handing you something all weekend long. But then comes Sunday, you have this giant bag of stuff, and half of it, 2/3 of it is of no interest to you. And the third that is just promotional stuff that you can
Yep.
find somewhere else. I'm not saying don't take anything, but be a little mindful of where you are on the floor or wherever it might be.
Part of the day it
What
is.
part of the day it is, whatever it might be. Don't take every single thing that's handed to you. One of the big efforts I had in my home collection was purging the years and years and years of free stuff that I had been getting at
Did you throw
Comic-Con.
those out or did you give them away?
I don't like to answer that question. I don't throw away anything. I give away whatever. I do recycle some things, but you know I like to find a good home for things. But
Swap meet.
swap meet, whatever it might be. I have a comic book store, so it's easy for me to give stuff away. And yes, I did find the occasional gem. Oh wow, the cool Serenity action figure or whatever. But that's one item of the 100,000 items, and so save yourself a little time and effort. Look at it when they hand it to you, and deal with it accordingly in the moment. Because, like I say, it's really, really easy to acquire tons and tons of stuff that you don't necessarily need. And I think that
Yeah.
about does my do's and don'ts.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty comprehensive list for all the people who have never been to con before.
Yes.
Have any of the subscribers? What about subscribers? Like percentage of subscribers who are actually going to con this year?
Probably very few.
Less than 2%.
Yeah.
Wow.
As far as
So
a
there's
percentage,
me.
probably very few.
Like
And-
maybe I can count on one hand.
Certainly
Aw.
not like 10%. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to find the time, to find the money, to get the ticket, to do all the
Find the
things
hotels.
to get the hotel reservation, all the things that we're talking about. And to that point, I'll expand out a little bit. If you're someone who can't get to San Diego, as we say, the ticket is darn near impossible. Hotels are $300, $400, $500 a night for the cheap places that you might not even want to stay in. So if you don't want to make all these commitments, get out to your local show. Wherever you are watching this, the biggest city closest to you has an awesome convention. San Jose, we got Silicon Valley Comic-Con. Denver has a con. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania has a con. Wherever you are, what's that?
WonderCon.
WonderCon in
WonderCon.
Anaheim. We love Seattle. We're going to New York. Wherever you are, the big city near you has a really cool Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's so prevalent now.
It's
You know, it's exploded.
The exclusivity of San Diego has exploded all of these other shows. People with good business sense have really started promoting all these other shows. And so there's big ones, there's small ones, and so again, if you can't get out to San Diego, get out to one of these shows and get a taste of the magic, because it really is something different. I have a comic book store. I'm in a comic book store every week, but the dynamic of the comic book retail experience and the dynamic of shows is a whole different thing, and it's lots of fun. So if you can't get a ticket to San Diego, or if for whatever reason it's just too much of a commitment for you, try and find one of these other things and get out there and be part of the comic scene.
Like pre-Comic-Con, Comic-Con.
Like right here in Rock and Milpitas, pre-Comic-Con, Comic-Con. I said in our thing yesterday, it's part of why we started doing this 15, almost 20 years ago now, when there weren't all these other things. And then San Diego was just starting to get, really tricky to get into. And we thought, well, there's nothing else going on. Let's do a movie night here. Let's do a swap meet. Let's do panels and
Cosplay night.
cosplay and
Gaming
gaming
night.
and different things and give people somewhere to go. and do the kind of things that we do down there.
Give them the flavor of con if they couldn't make it to San Diego.
Right, and as you say, over the years, all kinds of little towns and people have popped up with conventions and things, again, because it's fun. And I like to think you could take these pieces of advice to any show, but particularly to San Diego.
Oh yeah.
So what's left for pre-Comic-Con, Comic-Con?
So this will be Friday. This is gaming day. Tomorrow's movie night. One of my favorite things. We don't share what movie we're showing, but it's a new movie that everyone will want to see. It's family appropriate, and so movie night is always a good time. It's 20%, right? If they've made a movie on it, it's 20% off. Comics, trades, toys, anything in the store that's not new this week,
All
bring
day
your
long
soapbox.
tomorrow.
All day long. So come in for the sale, buy something that they've made a movie from. There gets to be more and more of that all the time. And then stick around. The movie starts at 8 o'clock. We got some animated shorts, some popcorn. It's going to be a really great time. And then Sunday is another one of my favorite things that we do is the swap meet, the customer swap meet. We set up in the back parking lot. Customers come and they set up tables, set up tents, and we do our own little like sales floor kind of thing. And guys and gals bring all kinds of stuff: comics, trades, toys, games,
It's fun.
apparel, everything under the sun. Cool collectibles. And we buy, we trade. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to come and set up, check out black-cat-comics.com on our events page for all the info. But come out and set up and sell your stuff, or just come out and buy and trade from the folks that are set up here. It's really fun. 12 to 4 on Sunday.
Yep.
And all day Sunday, the back issue bin here is 75% off. Yes, 75% off. It's crazy. It's one of our biggest back issue sales of the year. But it's swap meet day, so I like to go bargain basement prices. And I always like to say, when I do a really crazy back issue sale, it's not just for you, it's for the people in your life. Come in and buy books that you like and that you know are cool on the super, and then give them away. So that other people, and explain to them why the book is cool, and turn some folks onto comics. I always say that we are all ambassadors to comics. It's our responsibility to create new fans and keep this whole thing going.
Well said.
So that will round out our Black Hat Comics Rock and Milpitas pre-Comic-Con Comic-Con, and then next week we're off to the real thing. You can follow us here on Facebook and here on our YouTube channel as we post live updates and stuff from the show. We like to bring you little clips of video, pictures, and posts, and let you live vicariously through us throughout the show. And that's always fun too.
Great.
Okay.
Does that wrap us up?
Thanks so much.
Think so.
Well-
I want to thank you for having this little video together. It's fun.
Thanks for your
First
suggestion.
time,
That's
right?
great.
Thanks for
Yeah, it was a
joining
lot of
us.
fun.
It was great to have you. Nice to have a special guest on the program.
Thanks for watching.
And thank you
Bye.
for checking in at home. Thanks for your
Mhm.
questions. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Cut.
Yep.
Good job, guys.
I do not know how to turn this off, and hold on.